Welcome, everybody, to the first ever live podcast with Chelsey from Fairy Bones. It was an absolutely wonderful time. I'm definitely going to keep doing these live shows. We had so much fun doing it, man, and I hope you guys have fun listening to it. I had a great time recording it. I was so nervous that no one was going to show up because 7 o'clock rolled around, which was the time that I put on the flyer that the show was going to start, and there was one person there. Sean Michael Thompson, the wonderful Sean Michael Thompson was there, and that was it, man. He was the only one. And then 7:30 rolled around, and I think we filled just about every seat. So, I mean, there wasn't that many seats, but we fucking almost filled them all. So that was great, man, and we had a wonderful time. So please enjoy the show, and congratulations to my sister Katie, who won the little grab bag there at the end, as you'll hear. But I didn't introduce her as my sister because I'm a fucking asshole. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I didn't think to do that. So yeah, anyway. Also, man, big shout out to our sponsor, Cope Notes. They are a special, wonderful self-help service, man. You basically go to CopeNotes.com. I think it's CopeNotes.com. So you Google Cope Notes and you sign up for a free trial. And for 7 days, you get free text messages every single day. They catch you off guard. They're kind of nice little pick-me-ups that you get throughout the day. You don't have to give them any personal information or anything like that, dude. It's so fucking simple and it's so secure. So give them a teeny tiny witty little bit of information, man, and they will just make your life so much easier. Text messages come from people who have experienced and live with mental illness their entire lives, and they're just little nice pick-me-ups that kind of target negative kind of self-defeating habits that so many of us go through every day. So they're completely random. They're at a different time every day. You never know when you're going to get one, and they're nice, man. They're beautiful. I love doing it. So text COPE, C-O-P-E, to 33222. Again, that is COPE, and that is 33222. Okay, guys, enjoy the show. Everything's good? He's very tall. He is like way taller than I thought it was going to be. Hi, Jason. All right, so hi, guys. Welcome to the first live episode of Getting Stoked. This is fucking crazy. Welcome. Woo!
Yay!
We did it. Holy cow. So I'm going to start off this episode real quick by saying that the first time that I met our guest, Chelsey, or the first time, I don't even know if you could call it a meeting, the first time I ran into you was at a show in Tucson, and it was called Tiny Town Art Gallery or something like that.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was like
terrible.
Awesome. Exactly.
Yeah.
Completely terrible.
Really terrible.
Like, it was basically, I don't know, like half the size of the cafe out front and just cement walls, cement floor, everything. Mm-hmm. But I could hear your howls from outside. I was outside throwing up. I was sick at that show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember somebody said there's some dude throwing up outside.
Yeah, that was me. I was
nice.
sick. I was sick that night. You guys killed it though. You were wearing an overcoat, which you should bring back.
I was wearing an overcoat?
Yeah, it was like a Silent Bob style overcoat. I don't know. Come on, you don't remember that? You had like a really long jacket on. Does anybody else? I don't remember the color. Does anybody else in Fairy Bones know what I'm talking about? It was like a really huge long jacket. Whatever. It looks great. It looks cool.
Thank you.
You should bring it back. So the first question that I have for you, we'll get into the business stuff in a little bit. That's definitely one of the things that we're going to talk about. But one of the first questions that I have for you is like, a lot of people feel the things that you express in your music. For people who don't know Fairy Bones, a lot of the recurring things is sadness and misery and things like that, and suffering. And a lot of those people kind of keep those feelings locked away. And I was just wondering, what is it about you that you just need to express that as loud as possible?
Can you guys hear us with these microphones? Is it like fine? Okay, because you sound like crazy reverby to me.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. It's because I was in Phantom Party.
So, just reverb, just drench it in reverb. So why am I okay with being sad?
No, why are you okay with, or why do you, I guess, feel compelled to just like put it out there to the world? Are you so like loud about it?
Mainly because growing up, there was like nobody who did that, and I think it would have been really helpful because I started having panic attacks when I was like 12 years old, and I had no idea what was going on. So if somebody had been loud about it, I would have been like, oh, I understand that. Because you don't want to talk to your parents when you're 12.
No, definitely not.
So I just want to be, I have a mini platform, and I always believe that if you have any type of like platform, you should be using it for what you know and what you're good at, and I'm good at being sad. I've been sad for a very long time, and I know how to deal with it. So if I can help like one person, that's enough.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's fantastic. Now that you're an adult, and I think about this a lot as well. Now that you're an adult, looking back, how would you think that would have went if you would have talked to your parents about it? Like, because no one wants to talk, because my parents don't understand, when you're older. But
yeah. You know what? I think my mom would have been fine, and I don't think she would have been like, that's a panic attack. Like, she wouldn't have like known that, but like she did. I obviously am talked to her about it now as we're like older. But she had panic attacks in her life, which I found interesting. And she's like dealt with anxiety too. So I think she would have been helpful. And like it's like basically impossible to get any kind of help. Like therapy is really hard to get, especially if you don't have health insurance.
Yes.
Which I know a lot of us don't. Mm-hmm. And so I think that at that point in my life when I was like, I had like a pretty privileged life, I could have gotten like help sooner, and so I encourage anyone who has that outlet to seek it out. But there is like a place in Phoenix called Connections that will help you out for free. So you just have to wait like 6 hours.
Yeah, all you have to spend is time.
Yeah, you got to spend time, but at least it's there for you, and it's helped me when I was in between health insurance because I couldn't afford it. So. Yeah,
definitely. I've spent many an afternoon/evening at Connections.
Yeah, it can be a scary place, but it's definitely, like the lobby's a little like, but just bring a book or something.
If any of you guys like people watching, psychiatric urgent cares are the way to go. Like,
for sure, yeah, that's a good
Like,
idea.
I'm just like, usually I always have my headphones in. I'm not listening to the conversation of people around me, but when I'm at like a psychiatric urgent care, all I want to do is listen to everything that's going on. Like, what? She ran naked through the streets before she was here? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's
they have it worse than you. At least you go there and you're like, oh, I'm not the worst person here. Like, it's totally fine.
No, so my girlfriend and I were there once, and I remember sitting. I'm calling her out right now. We were sitting in Connections once, and I remember we were both like anxious as hell and like shaking our knees and just being really, really fidgety. And I leaned over to her, looking at another person, and went, "She is fucking crazy."
Good.
Like we're awesome. We're great. No, it's cool. We're just having a moment. All these people are fucking
They're like
nuts.
permanently crazy. And that's fine. You can be permanently crazy. It's just like, it's nice to know that you're like, oh, look, everyone else is crazy too.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Totally. Dude, I don't know about you, but I was in a psychiatric hospital for a week, like 5 days. I was just in this place. They were monitoring me for meds and whatnot. And that was the most I ever felt like, yeah, you know what? I'm not alone. This is awesome. I don't want to go home.
I've never been in one, but I know that like being anxious and being depressed, you get to a point where you're like, rehab sounds chill. Like rehab sounds like a vacation. Everyone's going to take care of me. I'm going to get my meds on time. So it's like, you get to that point where you're like, rehab sounds good. Where you're probably like, I should go to the doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Not everyone has that self-awareness, unfortunately.
True, yeah.
So now have undercurrents of misery and self-destruction, has that always been at the pulse of your art, or has the content kind of evolved over time?
It definitely hasn't always been that way. I know the rest of Fairy Bones is here. Hi, Fairy Bones.
Hi, guys.
And thanks for coming. And their first record was mostly about like relationships and like drama, and it wasn't really about mental health. And I think going into 0% Fun, which is their latest record, we were like, we should group these songs together, and it should be about like it's not like conceptual or anything, but we were like, they go together. This makes sense. So like, yeah, this was more about us like speaking truthfully and honestly about things, whereas DramaBot was more like poetic and like
I was about to say, you skipped
mean?
over DramaBot. Like, what was?
Well, it's an okay record.
That's what Matt said too.
Yeah, sorry. We like the record. It's just we like 0% Fun way more. So.
I mean, 0% Fun is phenomenal.
Thank
now,
you.
did you guys use Bob Hope for everything?
Yes. Yeah. He's our dude.
Classic.
He is classic.
Great guy. I haven't met him. I'm assuming he's a great guy.
Oh, he is a great guy.
I've heard nothing but great things. And so Now, do you feel like entertainers need to have a somewhat amount of insecurity in order to kind of want to hustle that kind of part of themselves? Or is it possible to be a quote-unquote psychologically healthy, whatever the fuck that means, adult?
I was going to say, are there?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Who here is psychologically healthy? See?
Yeah, no one. Yeah, right.
Who did somebody raise their hand?
I think Garrett.
One person.
Garrett's pretty normal.
Oh, you're good. How old are you though?
18?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
I had a teacher who used to always tell me the fist of life one day will come around and get you. And Garrett, it's gonna happen. So I don't know. I guess the question was, do you think it's possible? Do you have to be insecure in the music business in some way or shape or form?
Oh no, we've scared him now.
I know he's gone. He's leaving.
Oh
Garrett.
no, sorry, I didn't mean to tell you that your life is gonna suck. I don't know, because I don't know anyone that's not like struggling with something. You know what I mean? Like we're like millennials. Like that's our culture. Our culture is suffering.
That's interesting. I like that. Our culture is suffering.
It is, dude. So I don't know if you would go into art if you were cool, like if you were fine. I just don't know if that would be, if you're like, I'm fine, wouldn't you go into finance and make a bunch of money? Like why would you spend your life eating ramen on your floor? I just don't know if you'd choose that, if you were stable. I
can't think of any artist off the top of my head whose time in high school was the best time of their life.
Yeah, right? Yeah, an artist. Like anyone, like that's a football person, or like, I'm sure that there's plenty of people who are like sad and everything like that, but.
Well, sure, and there's some people who are famous entertainers who I'm sure had great times in high school. Shawn Mendes, I'm sure fuck him, but I'm sure he had a great time. But like, for the most part, artists. Yeah,
I don't know if you'd choose that path if you were like.
It chooses you.
Yeah.
Just like Thug Life. It's just like Thug Life.
That's funny.
So now, like, did your parents have any goals specifically in mind for you beforehand that now they're just like crushed beneath because you've decided to do this instead?
Dude, my parents had no goals for me. Like seriously,
it's their fault.
I kind of wish they did have more structure for me, but my dad's a drummer. And my mom is like, she didn't do theater, but she's been like involved in theater her whole life. So like when I was like, I'm starting a band, they were like, cool. Like they didn't, whatever. Like I don't think that they had they knew I was going to be in entertainment in some way, because like since I could walk and talk, I was like, okay, everyone, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we were like dancing in front of the fireplace.
You surprised me.
Yeah. So I'm very on it, and I don't think they were not disappointed or surprised at all. Like, I think they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not good at math. I'm not like good at normal jobs. I always get fired because I'm like, yeah, get it yourself. I don't give a shit. That doesn't please me, so.
That's great. No, I'm awful at math too. I work at a school, and anytime students have any questions about math, I'm always, it suddenly becomes like an improv game where I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. I have no idea at all how this works, but let's just right now off the top of my head figure it out. And if it's wrong, sorry, dude.
You're not going to use this anyways. It's fine.
Yeah, for real. Right, whatever.
I've never used algebra before.
I think the idea is supposed to be that it's, and I don't know if I have any people in the crowd who are like big math geeks, but from what I understand, it's supposed to teach you like the abstract, like problem solving or something like that. It's supposed to like maybe not. You're not going to use X.
Right. It's just trying to make your brain do different things.
Yeah.
I get
but
it.
we have video games, so.
Yeah. And
whatever.
Google.
And Google.
Maybe like Google that. I don't know.
So now, do you think there's anything at all that could ever stop you from pursuing music?
Anxiety? Which is happening like right now.
Right now?
Right now,
Dude, there's only like a number of people. You're fine. You're good.
No, I mean like I'm anxious all the time, but like.
Me too.
Like I'm fine right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
But no, like performing on stage has become like really anxiety-inducing.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like making music and like doing it with my friends and releasing it is fine, but like on stage performances, we're actually gonna probably take a little bit of a break to like, so I can like go to a therapist and like figure it out. Because it's like since November, I don't like performing much anymore. So it's weird.
So it's harder for you to be on stage now than it was in the beginning?
Yeah, I used to love it. It used to be like, you know, you know how you can like, you go into your studio and you like paint and it's your safe space or whatever. That was like mine.
Yeah, that's
and
how I am
now
too.
now it's not. It's like somewhere I don't want to go. I don't want to be in front of people. I don't want to be performing. It's such a shift in who I was.
Wow.
That I have to. I mean, I think a lot of people have like would go through something similar.
Yeah.
But probably they do like long tours and then take a break and then long tours. But we're not like big in any way. So
Well, fuck therapy. Let's figure it out right now in front of all these people. What changed in November that made you like? What's going on?
Probably medication changes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, you know, going through like different SSRIs and stuff like that. Have you ever had a brain zap before?
Oh my God!
I
yes!
hate brain zaps, dude.
Dude,
They're
like
crazy.
coming down off of Zoloft.
Yes.
Some brain zaps.
They
I feel
suck.
you. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just been like
absolutely.
my anxiety's just been through the roof, like changing medications all the
Yeah.
time. So I've been going because what happened was I lost my insurance. And so I couldn't keep going to the same place. And then they changed. So there's just a bunch of changes to medication. So like you just have to give yourself time. Like
Yeah.
it will get better. And I've gone through this before, but it just like medication doesn't work overnight, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, especially like Zoloft, which is what I take, takes like 6 to 8 weeks to start working.
Yeah, 3 months. That's when
Yeah.
you should keep, you know, just keep trying it for 3 months. So.
Yeah, but you know, whatever. Just smoke weed, man. Apparently that's
That gives me anxiety too. I can't do that.
Dude, okay,
I used to love
for real.
weed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weed anxiety is
It's the
totally
worst.
real.
Freaks me out, man.
Because like when you're your highest is also for me when I'm my most anxious.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Everything after that is just kind of me recovering.
Well, I'm like, I can't believe I have hands. You know, I'm like freaking out. And like, I can't believe like it does this stuff.
Well, have you
My
ever
flesh prison. You know.
have you ever like taken an edible on an empty stomach?
What? No, I'm not insane.
I took an edible on an empty stomach. I didn't know what I was doing. My dad gave it to me. I thought I was going to be safe. Like, I trust my parents.
Yeah, right?
So my dad's like, hey, you know, my dad just started smoking weed at the age of like, I don't know, fucking 45 or something like that. And he gave me, he's like, here's this chocolate bar of weed. And I was like, all right, cool, we're about to go to the movies. It's like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh man.
A little bit, just a tiny bit. Like, you know when you get the Hershey bars and you break off that one little piece?
yeah.
It was like that much. Nothing, right? So about, I don't know, 30 minutes later, I was right where I wanted to be. I was like, man, as long as it can stay right here, awesome. This is going to be fantastic. It didn't stay right there. It got worse and worse and worse to the point where by the time we get to the movie theater, I have my loyalty cup. This beer is going to be my loyalty cup. Santan Brewing Company, by the way, who has merch in the back. Hey, look at that. So I'm at the counter, and I hand the person my loyalty cup. And then I have to, like, in my brain go, okay, once his hand touches it, I let go. I have to remind myself of very
How to be a
obvious.
human? Yeah.
And then, but the problem is, the movie we were going to see was The Jungle Book, which is talking
Ooh.
animals and CGI. And
No.
there just so happened to be no seats available but the front row. So we're sitting in the front row, and I'm sitting next to Alicia, my girlfriend, and I'm like melting into her, like beside her. And eventually I couldn't handle it anymore. My whole family's there. My grandparents are there, who I fucking never see. Like all these people are here.
Why would you take it?
I didn't. I don't know. I was way too confident. I was
That's
arrogant.
hilarious.
I thought I was gonna be cool. And then like I got up at one point to go. I was like, okay, if I throw up, it'll be cool. So I
I've
went,
always, yeah, if I throw
right?
it, everything's going to be fine.
Dude, oh my
yeah,
God,
I don't
me
know
too.
why. Yeah.
Like throwing up is like my go-to.
Yeah,
like
me
it's
too. That's
showering and throwing up. Those are the two things.
They work generally, though. That's so true, dude.
So I go to the bathroom and I try to throw up, but I'm way too high to even like throw up. So I'm just like laying on the floor at Harkins in Queen Creek, holding onto the toilet literally like I'm not even trying to hide it. I'm just laying on the fucking ground. Like I'm sure my feet were hanging out through the doors underneath and stuff. So and then for the rest of the movie, I just hid from the talking animals, and
Yeah,
then eventually
that's a bad movie to see.
it was really bad. Like literally, I couldn't have done every one of those things I did was wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I like hugging the toilet because it's cold.
It's
That
so
might
nice.
help. Yeah,
it's so
like,
nice.
That sounds nice.
It really is.
Yeah,
The
I feel
porcelain
you. I
is
understand
really nice.
you. I understand you.
And so
Have you ever seen the movie The Room?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, The Room is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I went to Tucson to see it to meet Greg, who plays Mark. and I met him, and it was awesome. But I had a panic attack during that movie, like in the middle of the movie, and like everyone's throwing spoons, because I don't know if you've been to like because it's like interactive, so everyone's throwing spoons, and I'm just like, holy shit, like stop throwing spoons. It was just over my head, and I'm catching spoons. It was just like a really weird experience to be in a movie theater with a bunch of strangers who were throwing spoons at you.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, and and then he did like a reading afterwards of the Room script, like unabridged. It was awesome, and I got to play Lisa. It was
my God, you had to play a part?
Yeah, with Greg. It was very, very cool. But obviously I was like panicking the whole time, so I'm like, everything's cool. I'm gonna play Lisa, like walking up to the stage.
All you just tear him apart.
It was amazing and terrible at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome. I haven't seen the James Franco movie yet.
It's really good. I liked it a lot.
I'm sure it's great. He's one of those dudes, like, he's just great.
I don't love James Franco so much, but
I don't love him either. Okay.
Say, aren't we not liking him right now? As a collective, I'm not sure.
I don't know about you guys. I will, no matter what happens, I will always hate James Franco because I hate his character in Spider-Man. Because that was the first time I ever saw him. He plays Harry in Spider-Man. His friend, who he remember his dad is Green Goblin?
Wait, which Spider-Man?
The one with Tobey Maguire.
Oh man, I don't remember that.
Our Spider-Man. Come on.
I know, okay, but I like the new Spider-Man.
Okay.
We're into the new Spider-Man.
He's such a whiny douche in the Spider-Man movies that I can't ignore him.
That's crazy.
Am I crazy? That was him, right? That was James Franco? Okay, cool. It's the same thing with Winona Ryder. I can't like Winona Ryder anymore because I hate her in Mr. Deeds so much. Like, why would you do that to Adam Sandler? That's so mean. What? You look really confused. You love her in Mr. Deeds?
Oh, Mr. Deeds. I love that movie.
I love that movie too, but I don't like Winona Ryder.
It's the only movie I like Adam Sandler in because he's nice.
He is
and
nice.
I hate when he's mean.
Punch Drunk Love is okay. But wait.
Yeah, okay, well, he's sad. I like people being sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will say, there's an audience member who looks very upset at me right now. I haven't seen Mr. Deeds since I was like 12. So I could completely be remembering this wrong. But I know Winona Ryder's great. I love her in Girl Interrupted and a bunch of other stuff, but I don't like her character. Because she's mean to Mr. Deeds.
I don't remember her.
She fucks him over for her journalist boss or something. I don't know. Again, it's been like 10 years since I've seen this movie.
I'm going to have to rewatch that
you don't
classic
need to.
Mr. Deeds.
Nah, you're not missing out a whole lot. All right, so now let's move into the business stuff a little bit because that is what we've talked about in the flyer. That is kind of what we've promoted this as being. Chelsey, for those of you who don't know, is an absolute social media business mogul. Like she is, she is awesome at it. So, independent artists, independent bands, entrepreneurs, whatever it may be, we're all trying to hustle. I mean, most of us are trying to hustle. What do you think are some of the most important things that an independent artist can do in regards to social media, other than just posting shit?
I mean, being active on all social media. A lot of people I know are not active on Twitter, which bothers me a lot.
I saw that.
Twitter is my favorite social media platform of all time. I love Twitter.
I don't understand it.
Number one, it's the most hilarious. Everyone on there is fucking hilarious, right? Are you? Yeah. And they're you have to follow the right people. Once you're following the correct people that repost the funny stuff, then your feed is really hilarious.
Totally, yeah.
And plus they're up on the news right away. And that's where you can get news the fastest. I just think people neglect Twitter the most, which is
I do, yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's just crazy to do that because it's easy to follow people. It's easy to interact with celebrities on Twitter. They'll repost you the most. I've interacted with a bunch of different celebrities on Twitter, but they've never cared about my Instagram handle, for example. Yeah, I mean, being on the freaking social networks is the number one thing you can possibly do. And not reposting the same thing on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Not everything needs to be on every platform.
That was a direct attack on me, I think.
It needs to be worded differently. Not every social platform is the same, you know?
Got it.
It's I can write a really long Instagram post and people will be down for it. But you can do a one-sentence post on Facebook, and people like that way better. Unless it's a long letter, and people are gonna really love this long letter. It should be one line on Facebook. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah, and it should always be a picture. Never don't freaking post YouTube links. Nobody's gonna watch those. I can't get over people doing that. Just post a freaking photo and the YouTube link in the comment.
Oh, she only agreed to do this podcast so that she could attack me. Jesus Christ.
You asked her help.
That's so me. Okay, yeah. What the fuck is the deal with that though? For real. What do you do then? Let's say like I have a YouTube thing, like I have a YouTube channel. What should you do instead? Should you upload it onto Facebook, but then it detracts from YouTube views?
Yeah, I think you should. You should obviously have it on YouTube, but what I'm saying is don't put the YouTube link and then it looks like crap on
Yeah,
mobile
that's what I'm
and stuff
saying. Like, what's the best way to go about that on Facebook?
Post a picture and then be like, hey, whatever it is, make a cool caption, whatever your personality is. I always try to use cool slang because I'm real cool.
Righteous.
Yeah. I'm trying to get with the youth, so you know what I mean. So just post the link, but make it like a shorter link, because then if you use like Bitly, you can see how many times people click that link, so you can see if it's like working. And I usually make a different Bitly for Facebook and Instagram, so I'm like, oh, people are more, they're clicking it more on Instagram than they're clicking it on YouTube or on Facebook rather. So I usually use Instagram more often because that's where the youths are.
Instagram is, it's perfect. It's
no,
better.
Yeah, Instagram's way better, but you have to use Facebook. There's a lot of bands that have ditched Facebook entirely, which is insane to me. There's still millions of people on Facebook, so it's important to post there. But but do a picture, put the link into it, put a week later post your video to Facebook. I would do that.
Yeah, Facebook is one of those things. It's almost like, so I don't know about you, but I did the really cheap, lazy thing where I just went through groups on Facebook and I friended every single person in that group. And now I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. I don't know 98% of them. So now my Facebook is more of a message board where I'm just like, all right, I'm going to post this thing out to all of these strangers and see what happens. So Facebook for me is great because I can post something, get hundreds of likes on it, and move on from there. But at the same time, I feel like Instagram just works better for everybody. It's an easier platform for sure.
Well, yeah, because it's not fake.
It's fake as fuck. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you just friended a bunch of people that don't care about you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you wasted you only can have 5,000 friends. So
yes.
You wasted a bunch of slots.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I just wait. I have a bunch of friend requests.
Wait for them to come to me.
Yeah, you gotta wait for them to just make yourself so freaking enticing that they're gonna come to you. It helps that I'm a girl. That definitely helps. And anytime I see somebody on my feed who are guns, I'm delete. I don't care about that. I don't care about your opinion on that.
As I Lay Dying. It's been the
what?
week. So, or As I Lay Dying, which has been the week's, the band, As I Lay Dying.
I know that band, yeah.
Do you not know? Are you not on Facebook right now?
Yeah, I am.
All right, I'm going to date this podcast hard because people are going to not know about this later on.
Oh.
They're making new music. They're releasing
okay.
new music. People don't want Tim Lambesis, the singer, because he put out a hit on his wife years back.
What?
What? You don't know about this either?
No, dude. Isn't that metal
Jesus
music?
Christ. Yes. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm not in the metal scene.
So, for those of you, I know a few of you know about this. This has been all anyone's been talking about on Facebook for a while now. So Tim Lambesis, I think it was 2014. I could be wrong. He paid a hitman to kill his wife, but the hitman was an undercover cop.
Huh.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh my God.
Whoops. Right. So he went to jail, and now he's out. And they're releasing music again.
What? No.
People are super pissed off about it, right? Exactly.
We're good on that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's a crazy rabbit hole. I posted a thing about it on Facebook today, and then 20 minutes later deleted it because people got way too passionate about it.
Oh my God, I hate when people fight on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm physically unable to not engage.
I know, right?
I can't, especially if it's my post.
Yeah.
You can either not say anything, and then you have no say in the matter whatsoever, or you have to talk to everybody, otherwise you lose. Otherwise, you're just backing out in arguments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I usually at least I have friends that come and they're like, hey, you're stupid for talking to Chelsey that way. And I'm like, yeah, no big deal. They're
I thought you were just
me.
saying people just jump on your status and just hey, you're stupid.
Sometimes they do, but they get deleted.
Okay, got it.
But it's all men, so. Yeah, men, right?
They ruined.
It's 2018. We're not here.
2018.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Really?
No, I've never.
You're
heard
not on
that
Twitter?
Before. I'm not on Twitter.
You haven't been on Twitter this week?
All right. I deserve that. But yeah, anyway, everyone's super up in arms about the Tim Lambesis making new music thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy story.
But it's it's a really, really hard subject because there are so many people whose music we love who have done worse shit or stuff as bad as him.
Yeah, but they're like getting called out recently.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna call out Elvis in 2018 for fucking 14-year-old girls.
Like, just leave that alone. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
it's rough. But there's people like XXXTentacion and all these other people who like are doing awful things. But I don't know. It's crazy. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't support it. I'm mainly because I've never liked As I Lay Dying since I was like 15. But I don't know. It's interesting. That's what's happening right now. I'll fill you in. And you can fill me in on your slang that's happening on Twitter that I don't know about as well.
All right, dope.
Okay, dope. Yeah, most righteous. That's what Forrest from Sundress has got me saying, most righteous and super sweet.
That's like
sick.
old school slang.
Yeah, now he's bringing it back.
Okay, I like it. Don't be a square, right?
Yeah, no, he knows what's up. So now, what do you think are some of the biggest no-nos and faux pas when it comes to Instagram, like, or not Instagram, but social media marketing in general? Like, you see it and you're immediately like, fucking hack. Like,
black and white photos.
Oh, really?
Well, okay, not if they're like supposed to be black and white. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's a photo shoot and you're like, this is gonna be black and white, like, cool. But if you're like taking a shitty picture and then you're like, is this gonna be made better by black and white? It's not. It's not gonna be made better by black and white filter. I hate that. Using Instagram filters, I hate that. Like, I think that this is the year of like authenticity, and if you're like putting an Instagram, this is like all very nitpicky, but like if you're putting it, no, like, watch what Kim Kardashian does. She knows what she's like. You can hate her or whatever, but she knows what she's doing on Instagram. Yeah. That's for sure. Like, the entire Kardashian clan basically owns Instagram.
Do you follow the Kardashians on Instagram?
Of course I follow the Kardashians. They're beautiful and crazy. I want to know about what they're doing. But like, just no filters. That's not what we're doing anymore. Unless you use like Visco, VSCO, like everyone can use
What is
Visco.
that?
It's an app with like better filters.
Okay.
So like if you're gonna have a feed, and you're gonna go for like a theme, like some bands, like I think the Technicolors do like a big black and white theme, I believe. But like if your band's gonna go for that like aesthetic, then pick like one of the filters and make sure every photo has that same filter, so when you bring up your feed, it's like really beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, people care about that stuff. I care about that stuff.
From now on, every single time I post to Instagram, I'm going to be thinking, is Chelsey going to scoff at this when I post this? We'll see what happens.
I'll check your feed.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you better. Okay, yeah. Don't do that.
I'll see what it looks like.
So you were talking about authenticity, and that's something that actually brings us up to a point that I was thinking I wanted to bring up to you. So I agree with you. I think that right now in the internet age, in the age of everything being so immediate and everything being so kind of, it's easy to call out bullshit because we've got access to everything right now. Do you think that that means that rock stars are gone? Like the rock star thing of like, I'm gonna wear sunglasses inside at a dark venue show, man. Like, is that?
Who do we know that's like that? There we go.
Do you think that that's kind of run its course? Are people done with the whole affected rock star thing? Or
dude, I wish they were, but I don't think they are, because they live on. Like, and new rock stars, they live on. It's sort of crazy, but they're like, I hate the word social justice warrior because I probably am one, but like, it's fake. It's like they're like partying all night and they have all these chicks and like all this shit, or at least they're pretending to do that. And then they go online and they're like, Happy International Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day for me, because they have like, you know, a female symbol tattooed on them or something. Whatever, he can hear it. And then I'm talking about somebody pretty specific. Whatever. But it's annoying. It's fake. It's fake to me. I see right through it. It's crazy. And I think that like, the reason these bands, like, that there's sort of like an up-and-coming bands, they tour together. There's a bunch of bands like that right now. I couldn't even think of one off the top of my head, of course, right now. Like the Sorority Noise, Mitski, all of, in that like genre and in that world where they're sort of on the same circuit.
Yeah, totally.
Rebel Lounge, Crescent Bar.
What's that band? Fucking, is it Moose Blood? Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Same
from
thing,
the UK. at that level of fame. Like they're not like that. Like they're not this like rock star partying band.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are like promote being sober and promote like mental health and all that stuff. I think Moose Blood actually had a thing about like somebody had to take a break. It was somebody like that.
Yeah, I can see that. Or that other, you know what I'm talking about, Alicia. There's another band who he took a break to go to therapy and stuff like that. What? Not Moose Blood.
I thought it was Moose Blood.
What? Not
Modern Baseball.
Yes.
That's who I'm talking about.
There's another one too, but oh well.
Yeah. Who?
Pine Grove. That's who I'm thinking of. Pine Grove did the same thing.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
Pine Grove did the same
thing. And they're on
thing.
the same circuit as
Yes,
what I'm
exactly.
talking about. Yeah.
Self-aware artists.
Yes, they're way more self-aware, and they don't pretend that they're like these fucking rock stars and that the world revolves around them or that they're more famous than they actually are. And that just bothers me.
You know what bothers me, and I don't know if I haven't seen I'm gonna like be honest. I haven't seen a Fairy Bone show in a long time. So if you do this, I apologize. But one of the things that drives me crazy in local bands, like touring bands, whatever, I cannot stand if someone does things like, how are you doing tonight? I can't hear you. I said, how are you doing tonight?
I would never do that.
Okay, I didn't think you would either, but I just wanted to cross everything.
I can hear them.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I don't lie to the audience.
But like, there's something about that it feels like played out to me, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But again, I think that comes back to what we were talking about originally. That's the culture right now. We're done with that. Like, just play the music, be self-aware. We're done with the whole, I don't know, the gimmick of it, I guess, right?
When we do Fairy Bone sets, we literally like put 3 songs together that like go into each other, so we don't have to, like, a big pet peeve of mine with bands, you can tell they're unprofessional. It's like song, and then they stop, and they're like, hey. And you're like, what the fuck? Play a song, dude. We don't give a shit about hey. And they're like, yeah, that song was about, nobody cares what that song's about. Just play the song. Like, straight up. Like, when you're famous, people will care about what the song's about. But right now, they need to hear the music to give a shit, and you're wasting your time.
Sorry, Sam. Continue.
Sorry.
No, continue.
I'm just being honest. This is my personal opinion on matters, so you don't have to, you can take it or leave it. But we do 3 songs, and then we talk. And then we do another 3 songs, and then we talk. So there's perfectly enough time for talking.
I thought when you say talk.
Talk?
Talk.
Yeah. I'm from New Jersey.
Oh.
My parents are British, too. So yeah.
We just watched the New Jersey South Park episode the other day.
Which one? What happens in it? Oh, no.
It's one where the Jersey Shore takes over the whole United States.
Oh, I'm not from, like, the fucking Jersey Shore.
I know. I'm not saying you are either. It just reminded me. Like, we just watched that the other day.
Oh, I love South Park. That's fine.
It's great. Sorry. I don't want to create a situation. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Every time I tell somebody I'm from Jersey, they bring up Jersey Shore.
Really? That sucks.
Every single time. It's okay.
That means, I mean, they should bring up, like, Kevin Smith or Turnpikes or something.
Kevin Smith would be fine with me.
Right? Kevin Smith would be great.
He's a cool dude, yeah.
He's the whole reason that any of this is happening, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kevin Smith is, like, my dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
Cool.
So, now, what do you think some of your biggest mistakes were getting started? Now that you know what you know and people know you as being kind of like, yeah, I know my shit when it comes to marketing and being in a band, what are some of the things that you, in the beginning, like, oh, man, I can't believe I did that?
Our hair was crazy.
Your hair?
Yeah, just like, I think we couldn't decide on like an aesthetic. And so, especially Robert and I would go wild with hair. And like, just we would be changing all the time. And like,
yeah, your hair was all over the place for a while.
I know. And people didn't know what to call us. They'd be like, glam rock or like punk or whatever. And we're like, you're just basing the music, you're thinking we play that because of how we look. And I realized, like, and halfway through I realized, I was like, oh, you know, it's because we need to, like, look like what we play. So now, like, I think we look more, okay, they would probably play alternative rock or, like, punkish music, and that is what we play. So I think we just, like, went through a bunch of different styles. So I would have, like, been like, all right, let's talk about what we need to look like or the aesthetic of the bands. Finding an aesthetic was really, really hard for us. And I look back at those photos, and I'm like, oh, my God. I can't believe I looked like that or did that or thought that was a good idea.
I don't know, though. I don't know about, like, again, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Fairy Bone's music, but the cover to the first EP is so delightfully 90s. Like, it's
the one with us in the bathtub?
Yeah.
That was a crazy one.
Yeah, it's super, like, I don't know, I don't want to say Cranberries-esque, but very 90s.
We get Cranberries all the time.
Alt-rock thing.
That's cool. We get 90s
You get Cranberries all the time?
Cranberries a lot, yeah.
Like musically or aesthetically?
Aesthetically.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
You're not very.
We get a lot because we're a girlfriend band and we don't sound like Paramore.
Good for you, first of all, for being a girlfriend band and not sound like Paramore.
I like Paramore, but we just don't sound like them. So they're like, Cranberries. And you're like, okay, whatever.
That's the only thing they can think of?
I used to get Gwen Stefani, like, constant. And I'm like, we don't play reggae, or fake reggae? But, it's not, I love Gwen, but, that's fake reggae.
Man.
Yeah, and that was super weird. I was like, they're just trying to think of any female-fronted band. Luckily, the most recent comparison we got in print was Weezer and the Pixies.
There you
go.
I was like, hell
Good
yeah. For you.
I'm down for the Pixies and Weezer. That's really fucking awesome. Plus, there's no girls, or there is a girl in the Pixies, but
yeah,
I'm stoked. It's like finally, it's about music and not about girl. You know?
Yeah, I've
seen
you talk about that online before. How you and forgive me for bringing up something that you said online. Fucking, I guarantee you, at least 2 or 3 years ago. But I because we all changed very rapidly in this. I don't know in this. I don't want to say in this business, but whatever. Now, I remember you lamenting or complaining or whatever that you hate being put on girl-fronted bills. Like every band is like a chick lead
I
lead
freaking
singer.
hate it.
Yeah?
I freaking hate it.
You can say the F word.
I know, but I'm using freaking right now.
Yeah.
I freaking hate it. Female-fronted is not a fucking genre. And I don't, there's no point in putting us all on a bill together because we play different fucking music. Did I say fucking enough for you?
There you go. Thank you.
I
feel
that bothers
again.
me a lot. It's like, ooh, girls are different and weird in bands. You're like, no, they're fucking not. We're just trying to play music. We're not trying to play girl music. You know, fuck you, dude. I hate that shit.
What's girl music?
I don't know what girl music is. It's just music, dude.
Yeah, totally.
It's crazy. So yeah, I stand with whatever I said 3 years ago.
Good. Because if someone brought up Facebook statuses that I made 3 years ago, I'd be like, nah, man, that wasn't me. I didn't say that shit at all.
Well, if you brought up something from 2008 on my Time Hop, I'm deleting that shit as it comes up, dude.
Do you still use Time Hop?
Or whatever it's called.
On this day.
Yeah,
Come
whatever,
on.
Dude. Who cares?
I love Time Hop though, with
first.
the little I don't know what he was.
Some people still use Time Hop for
Time Hop's cool. Time Hop's all right.
Yeah, but I hate looking back at 2008. That was a weird time.
I use my On This Day, it's called.
Okay.
I use On This Day to vet and censor all of the stupid shit that I said when I was younger.
I know. I just
delete everything. Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah. In case I bolt to fame at some point, I don't want nobody knowing I said this shit.
Because who knows? I mean, who knows when at any time there could be some kind of new app or some new thing on the internet where you could just see everything that anybody ever posted. And of course, it's narcissistic to think that anyone would ever want to see that of you.
You totally can go to your timeline and just go to the top left and drag down to 2008, and anyone can see what you said that year.
Oh man. Well,
it's possible because I've done it to myself.
I'm not going to sleep for the rest of the year.
I'll check what you said.
It's bad,
I'm going to go home and check that out.
Oh, my God, it's bad. So, okay, now, what are some things that you feel like some things that anybody in a band, I hasten to say local band, but any band who's struggling or starting out, they should always do. Some things that just quick off the top of your head, checklist, stuff that if you're serious about this, if you really want to do this, you're going to hit at least a few of these marks.
Real photo shoot.
Ooh.
That's my number.
Call Ray squared.
What? Yeah, call Ray. Ray does great photo shoots, but there's plenty of photographers around here, and they're cheap. And I think you should talk about how you're going to make money for this band. Because Ferrybone splits everything 4 ways because we're equally invested in our achievements. But there's some bands I know that everything relies on the lead singer, and you're like, well, now you can't afford $500 split between 4 people is way easier to make up than one person fronting $500. And it's if you're gonna invest in your band, you're gonna do way better. So I think you should talk about how money's gonna happen. That's a big one.
And that's okay. It's okay to talk about money in a local band.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's really crazy to think about, and I spent a long time in a struggling local band. You're not a sellout if you want to get paid, guys. It's totally cool.
Dude, you need to make money every gig.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so when you're first starting out, I would play all the time.
Oh, yeah, totally.
As many shows as possible, even if you're not getting paid. As long don't go to California and don't get paid. Don't do that. But if it's at Rebel Lounge, go do it. they're going to pay you as well. But
yeah,
most venues are going to pay you unless you're doing like a house party or something, which is fine, you know.
And those are the shows that you always gain the most fans from anyway.
Yeah, don't make a shit ton of merch just because you started a band. You don't know how long it is before you're going to break up. I've seen plenty of that happen. They're like, oh, we have 100 hats. And you're like, okay. Do we need to, like...
No, sorry. The sound guy and I made eye contact, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was cool. That's why I gave a thumbs up.
Sexy eye contact?
Yeah. I'm going to talk to him later tonight.
All right, nice. Other things that I would tell you to do right away. I mean, man, I think that Google your band name. And make sure nobody else has the band name.
Fuck.
And don't call your band name shopping or sports or like words that are like ungoogleable because nobody's gonna find you, and that's so weird. Like if you have to do facebook.com/sportstheband, don't do it. Come up with something unique. There's like you can put any freaking 2 words together or 3 words together. There's a band called, what is it? The World is a Beautiful Place, and I no longer...
And I'm afraid to die, yeah.
Yeah, like, go for it, dude. If that band can get away with it, you can get away with it. But just make sure it's not taken by some other band in Ohio, because that's happened so many times.
Yeah, I hate looking up local band names and seeing 18 bands with the exact same name.
Yeah. Like,
that's what I do. If I'm going to come up with a band name...
Don't use the word bones, fairy, paper, foxes.
You said this a long time ago.
It's true. It's true. What else? What else do we not like?
Yeah, you had like a list.
Bear, ghost. Those are already taken. Like I would have never done Fairy Bones if I knew it was going to happen with all the Bones bands. Like I swear to God. There's a bunch of words. Just don't use them.
Fuck Bear Ghost. They suck.
Palm. Palm. Palms.
Oh,
don't use
yeah.
palm. Holy shit. Or beach.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like there's 100
or
beach.
Phantom or Party.
The beaches. Or don't do the double V. Stop with the double V.
Oh my God! Okay, wait. I have one. I don't know how you feel about this, but I'll do you one more. The double V is kind of annoying, like wolves, waves, all this kind of stuff.
Churches, isn't like that?
I'm gonna Churches. Although that new Churches album is fucking awesome.
No, they're great. It's just the band name is like ugh.
Totally. And my girlfriend and I argue over this all the time. I love the new Churches album, but I have this thing where if your band doesn't use vowels as like a thing, I immediately hate you.
Right?
Like it's so annoying.
Yeah. I'm like, it was like cool for like 5. You're like, oh, that's interesting, but now everybody does it.
And people who know Phantom Party who are in this audience totally think I'm a hypocrite because our Instagram title had no vowels. But that wasn't my
that's
idea.
so hypocritical.
I know it wasn't.
Wow.
I know a guitarist that is no longer with the. Well, no one is any longer with the band. But yeah, anyway, that was a thing. I had a big argument about that. Because that was like really...
I'm not a big fan of that either.
It's just, it's crazy. But I feel like I had someone show me, like, I went to Portland, and we have a relative out there who listens to a lot of music, none of which I've ever heard of. And
that sounds very Portland.
Yeah, it does, right? 98% of it had no vowels.
That's all I have to say about that, dude. It's just like, just get some vowels, man. They're just trying to get away with using words that have been taken.
Yeah.
But like just dropping the vowels, and it's like
I guess it's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes don't know what it is. Like we have these friends in a band called Is It March?
I was literally about to say it's March.
Or is it Merch?
It's March.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I know. I had to somewhere. I think
to
Mitchell
find
Hillman
out.
said that in an article.
And like they're great musicians, and I love their band, but I literally thought it was Merch for
Me
a
too.
very long time.
Me too.
So.
Yeah.
You know.
Calling them out on blast right now.
They're fine.
Same with Paper Foxes.
They know what they're doing.
No
They're
more
my
paper,
friends,
no more
that's fine.
foxes. Now,
Well, no, I don't want. There was another Paper Foxes in like California or something, and they
Got
didn't
it.
like check beforehand, and those 2 Paper Foxes got in a fight, and it's like.
I think I talked to Matt about this on the podcast as well. Matt, being your drummer, wasn't like Paper Foxes and Fairy Bones at one time a long time ago,
Robert and
together?
Matt were in Paper Foxes.
Right? Yeah, I thought you guys at one point like shared members or something like that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they're great. CJ's beautiful. I love
CJ's
him.
beautiful?
I love CJ
Oh,
so
adorable.
much. He's great. He knows. He knows. Yeah, that band's fantastic. I love them. And now, let's talk a little bit about poor life choices.
Okay.
Management, which is the other thing that you do as well. How did you get hooked up with that? Also, Poor Life Choice Management is a band managing company, for those of you who don't know.
Yes. Well, my best friend Sam started it, who recently passed away. But so Bree and me and Robert and Matt have all just sort of like teamed up to like keep it going. So not mostly in memory of him, but like I would feel I was a part of it, but he was like the main guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that was it your podcast that he said like he was like I wouldn't have done it without Chelsey, but like I wouldn't have done it without him. I don't know why he said that.
Yeah. He and I were gonna team up and do an episode together.
Yeah. So he sorry, it's hard talking about him.
No, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
So we have Paper Foxes and the Sink or Swim right now that we're managing.
That's it? Just those two?
Just those two for right now, but we're going to expand the roster with like a bunch more female artists. So it's like led by Brie and I. So it's like I want it to be like a pretty female oriented thing because I don't think there are enough females like doing that kind of work. Like we need like sound engineers and we need managers and producers. We need more female like in behind the scenes in the music industry. I think so. Like just want to get more females involved and everything like that. So when we do music videos, we work with like an all-female team too, which is nice. But yeah, we're looking for more female artists to like sort of like help and develop. But the main thing that we do is just like say yes or no to the things that they have ideas for.
Sink or Swim, dude, we go way. I go way back with those guys.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, totally.
We just shot a music video yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, was that for them? The skateboarding
that was
one?
them, yeah.
Oh, got it. Yeah. We met them at a festival in 2015 where we didn't get paid for it, even though we had to drive all the way to Tucson to play it. The stage kept cutting out. We had to play in the grass. And I was sick, and I went to the hospital right after we played.
Oh, my God.
But we became really close friends with those guys. But that was like, they had just moved out here. That was right when Fish Out of Water just came out, and they were super fresh.
Yeah.
And that was before they had Derek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great. They're super fun. Mm-hmm. I give them shit all the time because I give them shit all the time because Nate is one of those guys that wears sunglasses inside, and I'm always like, come on, man.
Derek's like that now, too.
Who?
Derek's like that now.
Is he like that, too?
Yeah,
God damn it. He's so nice.
He is nice.
I'm putting him on blast right now. Take the fucking sunglasses off. It's 10 o'clock at night.
That's just like Nate's personality, though.
I know. He's wild. Yeah. He's so wild.
He's kind of calmed down a little bit.
Has he?
A little bit.
Is he cool now?
Yes.
He's calmed down?
Yeah. I don't...
Cool. He's been domesticated?
He has a girlfriend.
He's been domesticated. That's what I thought. Okay, so now one of the things that is really interesting about Fairy Bones to me is that you guys live together. Mm-hmm. What is that like? I was always afraid of living with my band. I was always like, nope, no, I'm good.
I don't know. What's that like?
They don't have a mic, Chelsey.
What? Horrible?
He said normal. You're projecting what you feel about it.
I was like, why did you say horrible? What the hell? It's normal. It's fine. Like, Robert and I have been friends for like almost 11 years, I think, soon, which is crazy. And then
he has great shorts on, by the way.
Yes, everyone loves those shorts. I told you they were the greatest shorts.
They are great.
And then Ben and Matt are brothers. So it was like not like four strangers coming together. It was like two halves becoming a whole sort of thing. So I think it was easier than like other people. I think than like strangers coming together. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but I forced it upon them. I was like, okay, we're freaking doing this. You know what I mean? I think it definitely makes it a little more serious, a little more quickly.
It's also easier to practice, I imagine, and kind of write songs.
We just moved into a new house with like a huge band room, so we're like.
Really?
Yes.
Nice. Good for you.
Super happy with it.
But I liked that backdrop that you had before with the couch and the cool stuff behind the couch.
What's that?
The house before.
Yes. Okay, yeah. That is a weird wall. It looks like a soundproof wall, right?
It does.
It's totally not.
So before we, I'm going to take some questions from the audience here in a second, if they have any. I'm going to give them time to think of some if they do have any. But before that, I want to talk about one of the great examples, I feel like, in your ability to come up with great business and marketing ideas for social media was your Super Bowl commercial. Which was hilarious and obviously no fun, but what about, do you get that all the time now? Is that like
yes, everything's there so fun, yeah.
So, I really feel like that illustrated to me perfectly what people need to be doing. that they don't do.
Yeah, I mean, it was so
Outside the
easy.
box.
It took like 3 hours to do it, and it was like we just came up with a script the night before, and Ray, came over and did it with us. But I think it was like a minute long, but I mean, it was like the Super Bowl, and I know that a lot of people have commercials for the Super Bowl, and I was like, we know nothing about the Super Bowl. Let's just like flaunt our, our absolute no knowledge of this sport, and I think other people will connect with it. But like, there's plenty of holidays. You just have to think creatively. It's like, how can I be involved in like, if a big marketer is going to be involved in it, there's no reason you shouldn't be involved in it in some way. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you have to be careful with it because it's like, it's Pride Month right now. It's like, that works for our band because like, we're involved in gay and lesbian, like, the magazines and all that stuff, and we're involved in that way. And so that's appropriate for us to be involved in Pride Month. So that's gonna be fun for us, and we're not gonna try to we're gonna,
You're not exploiting it.
Exactly. Yes, you don't want to exploit it like.
If Ted Nugent put out a
right,
pro
you'd
gay
be like,
record right
fuck
now.
you. That makes no sense. But it makes sense for us. So if it makes sense for your band, like if your band is a part of like, there's Mental Health Week, it's like you can be a part of that, and it's like that gives you more connection with the people. Like they know who you are. Like you can't be closed off to your public.
That's interesting. There is though a fine line between being exploitative or whatever the word is, and being, I guess, an opportunist. Like you have to ride this line to not to remain tasteful.
And you're gonna fail, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Like I think that a big thing with Fairy Bones is that I literally throw everything at the wall, and then I'll like be like, that stuck. And then just go with that. So it's like, I've tried so many different things that I've gone back and deleted, or like, been like, oh, that was a dumb idea, or whatever. It's like, you have, or it just didn't work out, and not many people responded to it. Not that it was bad, it was just like, okay. Like, music videos that I thought, that I've literally taken down. And like, that was a bad idea. At least we tried. You know what I mean? If you don't try 100 things and one thing works, that's how it's gonna go.
Totally.
So
before we wrap up, does anybody have any questions? Yes, this is okay. No, hold on. Now, for those listening, this is the person that was very upset about my Mr. Deeds. What's your name? Ray.
Hey.
Right? Hi. Hold on, come closer to us. Sorry, just so. I know it's really hot in here, but there's a lot of fans on also.
it is super hot in here, right?
Yeah, so tell us what your question is in the microphone so everybody can hear you.
For sure. So, the first question that I have was, what kind of organizational apps do you use to try to keep everything managed? Right now I'm using Hootsuite for my social medias, and you said something about VSCO for photo editing.
I said something about what?
VSCO for photo editing?
VSCO. That's the app that like a lot of people are using right now, and it's just got like really subtle and like really nice filters. So that's what I use for like my personal Instagram to like make it so it like looks.
I'm giving this to you.
There you go. So it looks like I have like a thing going on my personal Instagram where it's like selfies and like I'm trying to look cute and like shit like that. That's my personal thing though. For Fairy Bones, it's a little more over the place. But if you have like an aesthetic, like a lot of bands, like I keep going back to the Technicolors, but they do that really well. Like their Instagram is like on point. Because like they're in the main too. They're like deep. They're like they have deep lyrics and like they're all broody guys and it's like whatever. But their music's great, but they're very broody. I think they're broody as hell.
What other kind of apps do you use to like keep everything together?
I don't use any of those apps. I've always found that like they're trying to sell you something and they have never been helpful. Like I know a lot of people go to Hootsuite. I find that just like a waste of my time. Like I just use everything on my phone. And like I'm signed into like 6 Instagram accounts, for example. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot that I'm doing, but I can use like the Facebook Pages app and like the Facebook app where I can run ads, and Instagram and Twitter, and that's like really all I use. I just don't bother with Snapchat because I'm not 13. So it's like
that's where all the kids are these days.
It's just I don't know if your market is tweens, go for it.
Shots fired.
But mine aren't. I just don't give a shit about Snapchat. Yeah. But those 3 major ones are like, so I just wouldn't use anything at all. You know what I mean?
Just do the work.
Just do the work, yeah. There's nothing going to make it easier.
Good to know. Last one. where's the line between, like you were talking about being real and being very authentic, and where's the line between that and trying to, sorry, I have like all these notes.
That's okay. There's a bunch of wind too.
Yeah, that's true. Really, like, how do you make sure that you're yourself, but you're putting out your best self so that people can still connect to it, but that you're not putting all your shit on other people?
You mean like, yeah, like just dumping all your problems on the internet? Like, what's the difference between drama and like letting people into your life?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, I think that's up to you. I know a lot of the time, I think if you feel in your like heart at that moment, you're like, like I feel like you would know it was a bad idea. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I hope so after all that therapy.
Yeah, like Facebook is not your therapist. Like you can allow people into your life, but you have to remember that they're strangers, and like their opinions are not gold.
So how do you discern, like, I'm gonna post, because I have seen you post some stuff where it's like, hey guys, this is what mental illness looks like, and that's like sort of an awareness thing for you.
Yeah.
And it's also sort of letting people in and having them feel connected to you. How do you keep that separate from your regular everyday life?
I think about it beforehand. Like I never am posting those things when I'm like having an anxiety attack or having a panic attack or having a bad week. Like I post those things when I'm feeling good because it's at that moment that I feel like if somebody did reach out to me, I could help them. Whereas if I'm feeling low and somebody reached out to me, I'm gonna be like in bed eating chips. There's
I
like
gotta
no
deal
way
with
I'm
this
gonna help.
myself.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to help you. So what use am I? But I make myself available when I can be useful, and I think that's the only way to discern it. Like if you're feeling like crap, take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're number one, and it doesn't matter. You can't help everyone. You know, so.
Ouch. Yeah.
I don't mean to hurt you.
No, I totally get it.
Okay.
I really appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Bye, Chelsey.
What was your name again?
Ray.
Yeah. Thank you. So, okay. I'm going to pick on Sam because I know who you are, and then we'll get to you in a second. Come on up here, Sam. He's got a beanie on, even though his hair is wonderful, and it's like 100 degrees in here.
He's always wearing a beanie.
I know. It's his thing. It's his aesthetic.
Yeah.
Felt like shit this morning.
It is his aesthetic.
Yeah. Do I sound like I have a beanie
I
on
get
as
your
well?
aesthetic. It's fine.
Thank you. I actually was wondering, like, because you're just starting out this podcast and everything. I mean, not just starting out, but like yes, this is directed at you. I mean, that might pertain to Chelsey as well. I don't know. When you're picking sponsors, like if someone approaches you, how do you decide whether or not, do you have to think it's right for you or the podcast, or is it just like, I need money?
That's a really easy answer. It has to pertain to the podcast in some way whatsoever. It may not have to pertain specifically to the podcast, but I have to agree with what it is. I'm not gonna, for instance, I'm not gonna promote. I can't think of any business off the top of my head. But if I know that you're, if you're an app or a business or something that I know is shady or whatever, I'm not gonna tell my listeners to download it or to listen to it, because at the end of the day, my listeners are the most valuable thing. It's not your money. It's the listeners, because at the end of the day, like that's what I'm doing it for. So the one sponsor that we have, which is the Cope Notes sponsor, is about mental health and things like that, because that's one of the things we talk about on the show a lot. So yeah, when it comes to sponsors, it's only things that I feel like my listeners could possibly benefit from.
Rad, thanks so much. I was asking because you just got that sponsor, and I was wondering like what thought process went into picking and deciding whether or not that was right for you. So thanks.
No problem, man. And then we had another question, right? Come on up, sir. Yes. And the Nike shirt. Hello. Looking much more comfy than I am, sir.
Just wondering, who were your influences as an artist?
As an artist, that's a good question. It is, but since I was a kid, it's been Kurt Cobain. I've been like very obsessed with Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. But as I grew up, I loved Blondie and Freddie Mercury. I love Freddie Mercury. They're like pretty like. I also did musical theater as a kid, so like musical theater is a huge influence on me, and I think you can hear that in my singing a little bit. I'm like a little bit more wild than other singers. You know what I mean? Vibrato. Yeah, I got vibrato. But those are my main influences.
Can I get one more question?
Yeah.
where do you think alt is going? Where do you think rock, alt, where is it going? Where is it headed?
Where's rock and alternative music going?
Oh man, that's a good question. Hope it's not.
Where Fairybones is going?
I hope it's not dying. Yeah, I think that we were talking about this the other day, which is funny. I think that right now it's not saying anything. Like a lot of rock artists are not. I think that the reason rap and R&B and everything is like, and pop even is like so popular is that they're saying a lot of stuff with their music. Like This Is America was like one of the best things I've heard in freaking forever. And like, but it had something to say. Whereas rock music is still stuck in love songs. And it's like, do we need another love song? Probably not. Like it's been said enough. And so I think if rock was standing up more for like what's important, and that's so important in 2018, like everyone, like I was saying, wants you to be authentic and wants you to like say something. And if you're not saying anything, like just maybe sit down. Like maybe now's not your time. And it's usually like 4 white guys in a band, and you're like, do we really need like more opinions from them? Like probably not right now. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's like super true. Like we need more like diverse voices in rock music as well. And so I just think that's why rock is like not on the up and up right now. It's literally because we're not saying anything. I think everyone still really likes rock music. And radio stations also play like only oldies, which doesn't help us. Like, have you guys listened to I love 93.3, but like a lot of that's not what I consider rock music. You know? It's like either heavy or it's not rock. Like KUPD plays like
Bush.
it's just to me that's like way more metal, but they pretend that it's rock. And these are radio stations that I really like and I listen to. I just don't think that that's what rock is. Like rock is so diverse, so it's like we need to allow that on the radio. I think more to up and up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Real quick to add to that real fast, because that's something that I'm actually really passionate about. The whole like radio just playing, like, because KUPD, I listen to KUPD and like all I hear is the same shit that I heard when I was 6 years old.
I know, right?
Except new songs by the same fucking artists who were putting out music back when I was 6 years old. It's just rinse, repeat, same stuff. No, nothing new.
It's impossible to break into.
Yeah. So, anybody else have any questions before we wrap this up? Yeah, come on. No, you're good. Ray is coming back. Ray with the fresh tattoo. No.
We all got fresh tattoos.
It looks great.
Yeah, I got one.
Let's do it. Finish us out strong.
Yeah, radio. How the heckin' do you get on there?
You tell me. Mo, connections, dude. It's all about connections. Like Sam and I, like we would show up where Mo is. Like we like weaseled our way into that friendship. Like we weren't annoying, which I think those people get really bored of. Like I said, you can't be disingenuous. You know what I mean? Like we weren't like, oh, we're in Fairybones and da-da-da-da. It's like she's a really cool person. Mo is the best, and she's really trying to help. But I'm sure she gets hit up every freaking day. So if you're being annoying, don't be annoying. And like Danny Cutler on KWSS, she's also trying to help. Have you tried Play-Dio on KUPD? I know that's like they're gonna rip you apart, but you might as well try.
What's it?
Play-Dio. It's like Play-Dio.
Yeah.
It's on KUPD. It's usually around October.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so November. It's in November. And
Baragos was the first people to win that.
I know, yeah. They told us to do it. We got in top 5, which was
Nice.
great. We were the only female, because they hate female vocalists.
Oh.
Which I was like, then I'm freaking entering. Like, go for it. So, I mean, if you have a bunch of money, pay to be on the radio. You know what I mean? It's basically impossible. That's what Mo even told me. She was like, just fight until something happens.
So don't be annoying, but be persistent.
But be persistent, yeah. Just be a normal human being. Like, make friends, don't make contacts. You know what I mean? Like, she's my friend.
Be genuine.
Now. Yeah, be genuine. Like, I even get annoyed when I'm like, people are like, no, Fairybones. And I'm like, okay, so you didn't even say hi? Like, how am I today? You don't even know. That annoys me. So I can imagine it annoys her 10 times more, you know? Yeah.
Cool, thanks. I had
no
to
worries.
like that one.
What? Oh yeah. Before we do have Alicia bring up the stuff. We have a winner for the Santan Brewing Company gift set. But before we get on to that, I have to say what you said just a second ago about make friends, don't make connections. Holy shit! Like tattoo that on my face. That is so true. That is so real. Alicia, all right, yeah, I'm gonna pull out a name here, and we'll see who won the stuff, the Santan Brewing Company stuff. They're awesome, dude. Like I've drank a lot of their beers already. Katie Smiley Face won the the Santan Brewing Company. So woo, good job, good for you. It's awesome, and yeah, I know it's yeah. So yeah, get that stuff. It's great, guys. Thank you all so much for coming to the show. This is crazy. I can't believe that there's anybody even here.
I know. Me too.
Yeah, but did you have no faith in me?
I was having anxiety that nobody was going to come.
Fuck, we're never hanging out ever again after this. All right.
It's just an anxiety fest.
No, you're good. Thank you guys so much for coming. Chelsey, thank you so much for
Thank
coming,
you.
being a lovely guest. This has been great. We've all learned so much. And thank you, Jason, for hooking all this up and working your ass off to getting this to get to work and record and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. Get stoked. That's it. One more conversation. For real. Thank you so much.